Hey, how are you? With your funny hat. Where do you live?
I live in Virginia.
Oh, okay, so you've got snow and things like that.
Yeah, it's cold here right now. We're waiting for it to heat up.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, I was just uploading, sorry, you go ahead, talk.
Oh, you were uploading something?
You know, I was just uploading, God, I should run this past you. Well, I shouldn't really, you're not a problem auntie, but, no, uh, I interviewed the stepfather who got accused. He got framed in the Hampstead case.
Stepfather?
Well, the mother's boyfriend, the one that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that did the videos, and there's a lot of question marks around him. On the fence as to whether he's a plant, whether he was.
I think the connection's a little shaky.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, hang on. This is what I think.
All right, good, good.
I think they were all doing it, and the two got scared and decided to use the children as leverage to get out, which they did. A mission accomplished.
I don't. Oh gosh, that's a novel thought.
Because there's no way. Look, there's no way that if they weren't involved in it, hearing shit like that would scare them so badly they would never talk about it. So when you see him coaching her or whatever, he totally could be coaching those crazy kids into saying what it was that they were saying before. But I don't know. And quite honestly, I don't like the fact that I've had to put this much time and effort into it, but it still kind of makes me feel yuck.
Yeah, no, it's not a favorite thing to do. I keep trying to lay it down, and then it just gets to me.
Well, I said this in the beginning of the first video I did.
Yeah,
I saw that thumbnail for a week and did not click on it because I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
The second at first I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to make a video about it. And then because it was the kind of thing that would piss me off. I knew it would.
Yeah.
And then I saw it and I was like, well, fuck this shit. And like,
Yeah, I saw that and I watched it again today. And there's a lot of people excited. Somebody amongst the activist campaigner group, somebody shared your vid putting Hampstead in their place. So there's a lot of excitement like, hey, we should try and get in touch with this guy. And I know, you're a comedian and you've got your work and you're busy and it's America and so on and so forth. And I kind of spent the afternoon saying, I'm going swimming. I'm just going swimming. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm going swimming.
And I'm not going to think about these little kids.
I'm really not going to think about this. And then I just do one more thing and one more thing and one more thing, and I didn't go swimming. I went walking, that'll do. But, no.
Well, walking is like swimming in the air. Like, when I walk, I don't know about you, but I'm like, when I walk, I do this. I'm like, I do like this and then like that. Like, I do like an Australian crawl, like that.
You just get sectioned once a week.
What does that mean? You get
sectioned? No, like if I went walking like that, the men in white coats.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you meant. Sectioned. I've got to learn all of these. You guys have so many of them, and I know it would take me years to even hear them all. But it's surprising how we speak the same language, but I constantly have to ask Mark what he's talking, my Australian friend Mark, and any British friends I have. I'm just like, wait, what was that? What was that one word that you said? I just didn't understand the whole thing you said because I didn't get that word.
I know. I lived in California for 5 years, so I can interpret. And I just have to confess, right? I'm only half British, and I lived all over the world, and I'm furious with the British establishment. But it's no good saying what the hell is going on over in you creepy British Isles, because this is just take two of Conspiracy of Silence in the 80s over there. I do believe, as far as the Luciferian global elite cult, blah, 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 I do believe that the British Empire still thinks it's a British Empire, and they delegated America, still thinking it was a colony. they delegated them to kind of get their hands dirty, you know, with MK Ultra and all that stuff. But the Brits were still pulling the strings. So in some ways, you're right by pointing the finger that it's a peculiarly British thing. But to be honest,
yeah, that's the thing that I found. I don't know what our delay is like. Oh, I think we're okay. I just have this. I get in a fight with almost everybody, and I'm not gonna make this one a fight, but
no, I don't want to fight.
People don't know how to podcast. I'm used to podcasting, so when people start either repeating what they already said, or they get past that threshold of where the average listener would stop listening, I'm just like, stop, because there does come a point when new information isn't being pulled out. And people are like, okay, and they hit and I'm just very wary of people changing the channel. And that's kind of bled into my personal life a little bit, I guess. But it really just makes me demand that people around me are better communicators. Like, if you have something to say, say it. But if it's something very emotional, don't take very long saying it, because you wear people out really quick. You weren't doing that. I'm just letting you know why I started talking when I did.
I'm trying to figure out. Never mind, I won't even bother. Okay, so my name's Angie. I've got ADHD. That's okay. Right. So the new information you just zapped me with was, what if the mother and the boyfriend are involved as well? Everybody's jumped around with the possibility that the boyfriend was put there because the theory is the mother won't join the cult. The father, Ricky, he married outside the cult, which you're not supposed to do. He had kids outside the cult. So he convinced that he said, don't worry, I can handle her. I'll get her in. She wouldn't comply. She would not comply. So, but he was already number 2. She was with another guy from the cult that she's got a child to, who's now in the...
That girl does? These children have a step...
They have a step brother who...
Now that adds a caveat, and it was somebody else who's been accused of being in that cult.
And now the step brother is alleged to have been abusing them too. So it's very murky. It's very murky. So the theory was she's just incredibly naive. She gets with one guy in the cult who has a child with her, and it's awful.
Wait, let me back up for a second. No, it's not that she's naive. She's fallen into the same trap that many women have fallen into, and she was attracted to what he looks like a wealthy man, and that a lot of women value that above everything, and they're willing to get into that situation and then try to figure it out after the fact. But sometimes you marry somebody who happens to eat shredded barbecued babies in the basement of a McDonald's every other weekend, and then it turns into a little bit more of a mess than you had anticipated.
Okay, so yeah. So the theory is one guy in the cult has a kid with her. She doesn't play ball, so she gets rid of him. But then he sends along another cult member and says,
it's like a record.
Yeah, and he says to the next cult member, which is Ricky Dearman, she's easy, you go get her. So Ricky Dearman comes in, has 2 kids with her, beats the crap out of her, tries to make her watch porn, molest the kids and blah, blah, blah.
Ew, man, what the fuck? Okay, look. I'm happy with, this is how I'm happy. Being inside, having a hot shower, not even having enough to eat, just enough to survive on is fine with me. And then and marijuana. Like, if you put I've been in this apartment, I've left this apartment a handful of times all winter. You put all of those things in one place, and I'm fine. And I feel like I'm a fairly intelligent person. So how is it that these people aren't satiated by the same things that I'm satiated by? Is it that I haven't had a taste of power over other people and it hasn't corrupted me? Or I just don't get that. I'm going to grab something, but I'll still be able to hear you.
Sure. Okay. Well, whatever. Talk amongst yourselves. Power corrupts. There is no excuse for it. But the way they hook people, if they can't bribe them in, they blackmail them in. So it's Jeffrey Epstein. It's step 1, 2, 3. It's ABC. It's easy peasy.
Well, do you want to hear the weird part of this, Ryan? I don't leave any stone unturned mentally. It's how you cover an issue. You just think about it from as many different ways as possible. The drug using part of me wants to know what they're experiencing, and I know for a fact that blood. I've just read about it so much that blood can get you high if it has that adrenaline in it. It's like cocaine, but I have a feeling it's well, your body knows how to process it, so there's probably not this horrible come down like you have with cocaine. I just think that these are dangerous drug addicts, and
it's not just the adrenochrome addiction, although that is addictive, and so is the bio. But yeah, adrenochrome.
Wait a minute. People get addicted to getting tattoos and jumping out of planes. How wouldn't you get addicted to drinking baby blood? Oh my God.
Well, that's a part of it, but a huge part of it is ambition, lust for money and power and position and influence, and fear and greed. So, like, they've been doing this, they've been orchestrating this since 50 years. So all they've got to do is film that person. They do this with straight politicians. They get them drugged. They put them in bed. So it's all that shit.
I know.
Okay. So it's very.
Who do you think you're telling?
Sorry. So, but the thing is, how do they get out is the question. It's never occurred to me.
I will tell you something. Beware of how excited you get about your own knowledge, because when people start going, "Oh my God, and I know this thing, and there's this other thing that I know," I'm just like, no, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care if it's new info. I don't want it. I'm just teaching you. I'm not being a dick.
No, I appreciate it.
Because you probably should be doing, if you know this much, you should be doing radio or do a I could get you set up to do your own podcast very easily without even being there. You just download Audacity, you pick a JPEG, and then you put the two files together in iMovie or in another program, and you just put it up. It's really no big deal. But if you know so much, you should speak up. Like, I'll cover your words in some way, shape, or form. But makes me think I need to have a Hi, It's Rupert blog so that I can write stories and post them too. But
I like the visuals. I'm not a blog reader for the most part.
Right. You look at the others that I copy. They all have a multi-pronged approach. They have TV. Where they have video, they have audio, and then they have articles and images. But yeah, I do video. I love video so much. Like I absolutely I'm like a little kid who finally got to do what it was he wanted to do. Like if it was paying the bills, I think
there you go.
Yeah, I think it will one day. I feel like if I keep doing this, people will just be like, what about that guy?
I have a girlfriend with a twice weekly show on Revolution Radio.
Who?
Christine Hart. Christine.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah, Douglas Dietrich set that up for her.
I've been a guest on there many, many times.
Oh, great! So she's made no money doing it. So I'm not.
I did radio I did radio 5 days a week for a year. Drove my ex-girlfriend insane. That's doing radio every day is hard, but it was how I was coping with work. And then I did radio again a year later after I started the web show. I started doing radio again, and I was doing that 2 days a week, and my audience was between 60 and 120,000. And that was awesome. Then the guy sold the I was their centerpiece. Like I was who people tuned in to hear. I had a huge Indian following.
Yeah, you're good, and you're also brilliant with your editing shit, and I'm not. So I'm like 58.
Easy to learn.
Huh?
It's easy to learn. All you have to know is if you have ever watched a news broadcast or you've seen a movie and something didn't feel right about one of the cuts, like it made you feel weird, then you probably could be an editor. Like the reason I like to edit is because I've seen shitty editing and I just avoid shitty editing.
Right. Well, my stand is, and the way Hampstead research used to function was nobody did like a huge stress thing, like take a year out to learn to do this or take 3 years to make some money at that. Nobody did it for the money. Everybody just did what they could when they could. When they couldn't, just put it down.
That's how I know it's real, is because none of those websites look good. They're just shitty websites with words on them, which is how you know that somebody was just like, I'm throwing this up. I don't care. Like, this has to go up.
But it's that feeling of I've got to do something. I cannot just watch another YouTube video and smoke another cigarette and pretend I can't do anything. I'm old-fashioned. I've been an actress. I've done a load of shit, but I don't know technology and I don't have the time to learn. If somebody said to me, right, here's your radio show, your TV show preferably, and we're going to do all the technical stuff, go.
I find it now. All I'd have to do is send you a link right now, and you're live.
Okay, and the other thing is, I prefer to talk to people like this because it's boring to me to say what I know, because that's only a box of what I know.
Well, you need a redirect.
I get excited when somebody throws something in that I don't know.
That's a redirect.
When you open it up and say, I think they're both in it, and they wanted a way out, and now they've got a way out by throwing kids under the bus, that's a
Acknowledge redirect.
Sorry.
Acknowledge.
Okay, so a
redirect. Look, I come from a place where I started out as ultimately obnoxious. Just everything that came out of my mouth when I was a kid, just everything seemed obnoxious. I was always told I was obnoxious, and I was a little bit obnoxious. I got older, and I saw how I was obnoxious in my adult ways, and you know, now that I think about it, I'm so satisfied with the obnoxiousness of my web show that my in-person obnoxiousness is only mean, and I only pull that out every once in a while. I pull out my obnoxiousness when somebody's doing something I don't like. Because like in this next video that comes out, nobody's ever seen me be like this. I've never acted like this before. Openly insulting, just like absolutely openly insulting to this person. It's Paul Joseph Watson. You know him, don't you?
No.
He's a Brit. He works for InfoWars. He's huge on the internet.
Yeah.
He's a British guy. He's got brown hair and blue eyes, and he talks real slow. And he's got stories about you're a fucking loser. And I'm just like, fuck you, dude. You can't hang out. And then I've never talked. I was in the music industry for a while, and I've been playing music since I was a child. So, and I have one more thing to say after this, but I just show him that I never talk about this in the video. I've never talked about how I was in the biz, what band I was in, who I know. So I do this in this video, and I list all the bands that I've met. I say had interaction with, because some of them the interaction was pretty minimal. But there's a list of 20 people that most people have heard of that I've rubbed shoulders with, had conversations with, shaken their hand, or become their friend. And I know my shit about tunes. I've been in that biz, and I got chewed up and spit out by it. So to hear this guy like repeat all this bullshit about it, that's dumb. And then the other thing is, I forgot.
Okay, it's fine. The bottom line is, I refuse to do it. I don't know if this is just self-sabotage. I refuse to do it the way of the paradigm that everybody works in, which is you make money from advertising. You make money from like how many hits you get, and so
listen to me. You see, you're coming at this from a lack of understanding. To even understand how YouTube works would take an afternoon. The amount of controls, graphs, charts, and stuff that they provide you is insane. But it is, if you want views, if you want people to hear what you have to say, you have to play ball. And I don't want to hear all of this idealistic bullshit about ads and this. Like, I have all my ads turned on. If you don't want ads on, you can go download an ad blocker. I don't have ads on my computer because I have ad blockers. So that technology is readily available. It's just most people don't use it because they don't understand. Hang on. If you want to play ball with YouTube and not get your shit squashed like mine does, you need to act like you want to play their game, because Facebook and YouTube are nailing the video thing right now. So when I hear you say that, yeah, that sounds like really idealistic, and I started out like that for sure. But if you want legitimacy, if you want your account to be in good standing, if you want YouTube to favor you, then you play ball with them. And if it's like for me, I might get 3 or 4 cents or like 20 cents off of, like, I bet with the Hampstead video, I bet I made less than $1 or something off of it. How many people looked at it? 2,000 people looked at it. So it's like nobody's making. It's not like, okay, I will let 43 imaginary cents sit in outer space so that these kids can get their shit heard. That's how I look at it.
I don't monetize my videos. I don't work on Hampstead for making money. I am in a position where I'm needing to go back to work by the summer, and so I don't have the luxury of saying I'm going to be a YouTube geek and get really good at it, because I don't.
You need to listen to me. Like, you're looking at this all the wrong way. I'm willing to help you, which is nothing that I had from anybody. So you should actually be sitting and going, oh my God, because I walked up to this not knowing shit. Not even knowing how to open the program to start editing with. And having a really meek and timid personality as a toddler and having to fight through that. And then all the shit that happened to me with adolescence. So, like, you're sitting here going, I can't do. All I hear from you is I can't.
Okay. Sorry, thank you.
You know better than that.
Thank you, and sorry.
I don't want to be in a position to have to sit and stop. I want to be stopping you to go, wait, you're being too funny, or I need to hear it. I don't want to be stopping you and telling you to adjust your attitude. That's dumb. You can be working a 40-hour-a-week. Look, I got where I am working a job. I've been lucky enough to be off since June, okay? I needed that time. The universe was like, dude, you're not going anywhere. You need to just sit and focus on you and your shit. And I feel like it's picking up. If I keep doing it, I think it'll pick up. But so what I'm telling you is, you can, in your spare time. I've told you why I'm saying what I'm saying. Now I'm going to say what I'm saying.
I appreciate it. I got it now. The penny dropped. Thank you. And I just wanted to say as well, not out of flattery, but I watched some of your videos from like 2010. Yeah. And you were adorable. You were not.
I still am, aren't I?
Oh, you were just so cute. So cute.
Oh, man, now somebody's telling me I used to be cute.
No. Oh, well, just take the compliment.
I'm a little rugged now.
No, you're still cute. You still got beautiful eyes. The eyes are the wind of the soul, and you're funny.
Yeah, but my shaved military crew cut haircut makes me look like a brute.
And it's just our earth suits. So, so thank you very much. That would be great. And in the immediate, but I guess I don't know where to go with this other than to play with that theory in my head. But
here's what you need to do. All right, you already, look, in terms of acting, right now, you can't do anything else by yourself. Agreed?
No.
Okay, you don't agree with me?
I want your help, absolutely, but
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, pretend I don't exist. I'm just overlooking your situation where you are.
Okay.
You need to find out who is on your team. And that does not mean start a group. That does not mean click anything on Facebook. That means find out who your friends are. Figure out which of the people you've been dealing with you can continue to deal with, and have a small team of people, maybe even one person that you also trust that is either in Hampstead or around the area and has ties to it. There's a few people that have commented in there. You have the power of being, you're a girl. You have mom power. So you need to use your mom power to be like, look, I'm trying to help these kids or whatever. And then once you feel like you have that going, make sure that you have a line of updates. Make sure that your updates are in order, that you're occasionally seeking new things to update you on info. But for me personally, if I ever get to a point where I know somebody who's in a situation, I just ask them. If it comes up in the mainstream news, like whatever, but if I know somebody that's there, that trumps everything. I'll ask them before I ask anybody. And then the other thing is, there needs to be a course of action with this, a demonstration. something. I would love to be able to get over there to, I mean, you don't like.
Can I fill you in on a little bit? I hear you, and I'm feeling, I want to catch you up. I want to bring you up to speed a little bit. Have you heard of Sheriff Sands or Christine Ann Sands? She's this rich, beautiful woman with a huge camper van, RV. She calls it a non-mobile. She came over from America. We did protests outside the church every Sunday.
No, it ain't even a question of me coming over there. It's a question of getting me there. If you can get me there, I'm there. But
yeah, well, anyway,
this is my superpower is disruption. People will hate me on the back end, but in the back of their brain, they know it was me that got things moving to set it right. Sometimes I'll say the wrong thing, and that makes somebody else get mad, and then they say the right thing, and then everybody acts on the right thing, and I'm the asshole for saying the wrong thing, but everybody did the right thing anyway, so I get to be the dick, but I got my outcome.
I get it, and somebody did that already, and she got deported. She got arrested. She got thrown in jail for the weekend.
I don't think they look. I would need 1 month running around and getting a like a crew together. See, this is what everybody is missing, is a little bit of fucking muscle, okay? You can't put yourself out there without a little bit of fucking muscle behind you. You have to, if either you say you have it or you have it, but you have to make it seem like you have something backing you. When I talk to the camera, I have a glint in my eye like, I know something you don't know.
Okay,
and people don't know what the fuck that is, and that makes them not want to fuck with me.
Okay, good. Right, so we've had, you've got to hear this, right? And then I'll let go of what we've done so far. There's still court cases going on. One activist fled the country for 6 months, came back, has been arrested 3 times, once at midnight, and for harassing the pedophiles. You know, that's what
harass the pedophiles.
That's what. Well, you don't know the British justice system; it's corrupt.
Well, they love to fuck little kids in the asshole. Okay.
I know.
Like, for some reason, and you know what? Let's see. This is where I would go with this. I'd be like, you know what? Y'all do it so much, you kind of make me want to try it out. Maybe there's something to this. And then once I say something like that, everybody's, see what you just did? Do you see how you reacted?
But there's been 3 really. A lot of us have been brave. I've been on the BBC with it, or different people. Actually, they cut mine because they thought I was a Hampstead person, and I wasn't. But listen to me. There's
Wait, they cut your mic because you said you weren't there?
No, they cut my interview. I went to the church and I infiltrated. I went into the church and I saw blood on the floor and I took photographs and everything.
Wait a minute! That's the first thing you should have ever said to me. Everything else you've told me is dumb compared to that. What the fuck?
All of this stuff is recorded, and 3 people were arrested. The American one who went around saying, stop fucking children, and so on, doing what you said as a tactic. She got arrested, she got fined, and she got told she wouldn't go to jail if she left the country. So she left the country, right?
See, me personally, I'd be like, you'd let me see the inside. I would act happy to go. I'd be like, you'd let me see the inside of a British jail? Let's do this!
I know. And that's why
like, fuck, it's not a punishment for him. Why the fuck would we want to do that?
Well, the priest has fled the country and is now resident in another country. But there was another woman really brave who stood and did interviews, and she has a radio show, and she was saying, they're sacrificing babies and they're, blah, 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 done. We've got proof. And she's been in court 3 times, but she's brilliant now. She's going the common law route, and she stands up to them and keeps getting it dismissed, but they really are pissed off with her. The other woman has, like I said, she's 71. She's been arrested 3 times. She's being threatened with 5 years jail for malicious communication or intimidating witnesses, or just because she wrote a blog campaigning for these children. Just because she went to Europe. So we've done a lot of shit. I flew over from Ireland. I went there. I've done a lot. Everybody's done a lot for a year. But some people are just waking up again and saying, do you know what? It hasn't gone away. What else can we do? So, but the point I wanted to make when you said if the mother and the boyfriend are also in the cult, then the kids are going to stay in state care, but nobody's getting updates of how they are. And the state care
That's
was
good though. I mean, that means nobody's at them.
That doesn't mean that, because the way it's been set up over here, it was social workers, it was foster carers. A lot of them were fostering children and adopting them specifically to bring them in the cult. So it's absolutely corrupt. They're not safe unless one can transparently see
Man,
that
this
they're
sounds
safe.
like Indiana Jones and the motherfucking Temple of Doom. Jesus Christ! Like this sounds like no. This is what I want. I want the hat and the whip. I want the hat and the whip. You're going to play the blonde, and we're going to go, and we're going to swing around. So you went, all right, I want to be able to stop you, because you that was good. Everything you just said was fine. I want to be able to stop you, because you're going to run off in a direction, but I want to be able to, so you're
good at
heard
editing.
give me a timeline here. How long before I did my first video did you hear about that? Same time?
There was so much came out, and I was so busy with this last year. I may have seen your video.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you when you found out about it.
Oh, about this case? When everybody did. February, a year ago.
Okay, so you found out about it probably around the same time I did.
February.
It came out a week. It was out a week, and then I was like, fuck! Okay, that makes sense. So then... See, I don't know. The only thing that I've seen is people be nasty to me. I've had to really read all of that shit to find the people who have found you and the ones who said that they were there. I could tell by the way they comment that these other people are they're preaching too loud. There's way too much effort being put into saying that I'm this and I'm that. Like that just stinks. But if they had just dropped one comment and then left it at that. Like, is that Jane Doe person the fucking dad?
Probably.
God damn it, that dude scares the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. And he knows who I am, doesn't he?
It's to be serious, it's been every one of us that's been on the front line. I'm the only one that hasn't been arrested, because I live in Ireland, and I've had a burglary.
Look, they'd be hard. If they don't have guns, they're gonna have a hard fucking time arresting me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the right attitude. We need to not be scared. I'm not scared because I'm like you.
No, look, I've seen these British dudes try to fucking arrest people. I'll fucking box their fucking ears. I'm small, but I'm scrappy, and I don't go down easy. I've had my balance tested in the ocean and in mosh pits, okay? I stay up in the mosh pit. I flow through the mosh pit, okay?
What's a mosh pit?
It's a concert, and then the kids are like going bananas down in the front. Going bananas means like a lot of action slamming into each other, crowds moving like this. You can't fuck with me. You can't fuck with me.
Okay, well, good. That's what we need. That's the attitude we need. But
we need this. Look, I've got a passport. All we have to look. I will. If we have somebody that's not gonna murder me, I need
But we shouldn't joke. We shouldn't really laugh because in the past people get murdered for doing this.
No. I'm ready to die. Like I'll do it.
Yeah,
I
am too. Exactly, I am too.
I'm done. Y'all can fucking slit my fucking throat. Go ahead. Yeah. She can only do it once. You better jack off while you're doing it too, motherfucker. I want to see it.
But somebody else, David Shurter, offered to come over and get involved if people flew him over. And, everybody's doing this for nothing. Like, who's going to say, yeah, I've got your airfare? If you know somebody who says, I'll sponsor you, get your ass over there, great. Tom Dunn is coming over with a film crew, hopefully, in April.
Oh, no. Hook me up with the... See, I'm Jason Bourne. I am Mr. Research and then go run and look. I will go run and look. And then I'm saying, oh, man, I need...
You're David. You're David. Okay, good. We've got a David. That's great.
David.
And, well, David Goliath, he's brave.
Oh, fuck, dude. I will stand and tell you. Ask my dad. He'll tell you. I've never backed down from anybody in my life. Here's something else you don't know about me.
Right.
I grew up in Culpeper, Virginia. Culpeper, Virginia has a disgusting haze of nasty spiritual stuff over it. probably because the largest cavalry battle ever fought in the Western Hemisphere was fought at Brandy Station in Culpeper County. Now, Culpeper is a county, but it is also the county seat, which would be the town of Culpeper in Culpeper County. So when you say you're from Culpeper, you could mean the county or you could mean the town, which that in itself creates just this weird haze over it, because everywhere else is like the big town in, say, Fauquier County would be Warrenton, but it's not Warrenton County and Warrenton Town. You know what I mean? Manassas, Virginia is in Prince William County. Alexandria, Virginia is in Fairfax County. But Culpeper is in Culpeper County, which that alone is weird. But anyway, it's a place of bullying. It is a place of murder, kidnapping, teen pregnancy, overdoses, confusion, stuck mentality, redneck motherfuckers. Like, it's a really dangerous place, and I wish my parents. I've like finally made a case for my parents to leave there. Like, I want them out of there. My grandmother is. I don't want to go into that, but anyway, I started a page called Culpeper is Weird. Okay, and it was just like a gag between me and my friends about just jokes and memes about the town, and just like I just kept posting and I'd let it go for a while, and I started posting. Well, all of a sudden this shit started to catch fire, and one day I checked in and it was just like it was going up by the minute. Something I posted was crazy, and it went up to like 1,800 or something, and I was like, or it went up to like 700, then it went to 1,800, and then this shit just got out of fucking control. It's like got around 5,000 now, and then an election came up, and I'm a fucking junkie. And I'm half anonymous. Like, I told some people so that they would eventually like tell on me so that I could create chaos. I'm a very strategic person. But hang on, this is the end. Everybody wants to interrupt on the last sentence. Why? Last sentence. I threw an election with that website. I incited so much to the point that I don't live there. I live not far from there, but I live in a much better city, much better town. And this man believed he had discovered who I was, though I had done a pretty good job of putting out that it was me, but also denying that it was me to create enough confusion that no one would actually say it was me. And even people who didn't know me were like, no, that's not him. So, a man went to my parents in public, like, and I told my dad it was about to happen because he said he was going to do it. And I said, Dad, when the man walks up to you, you have to lie. But my dad doesn't lie. And I was like, you have to lie. And he didn't. His curiosity got the best of him. He wanted to know what was going on. And once he revealed all of that, then it was on. There were threats. There were like threats of authorities being called. And all I did was go, you can do whatever you want to me, but you're going to make yourself famous doing it. And that is a powerful tool. Do what you want to me, and everyone will know who you are. Yeah. I agree with you, and I apologize for interrupting. The thing I was going to say, rewind, was you said you're a junkie. Junkie? You said I'm a junkie. Politics. I said politics. Oh, okay. I just wanted to clear that up, the language barrier, because a lot of certain kinds of people... I said politics, junkie. That translates into both languages, both interpretations, sweetheart. All right. I got it. Thanks for that. No, the only thing I told you what I'm into. I like internet, I like food, I like pot, and I like people. Like, yeah. Okay. So the reason that, because you know what, honestly, I don't give a fuck about some British kids, to be honest. Like, fuck it, we got our own problems here. Like, and that's the adult in me. Now, when I was a little kid, I saw adults whom I was very certain had long since forgotten what it was like to be a child, and had decided to take full advantage of being an adult, however, and I decided somewhere in my little heart that I would make sure that I found some way to take a mental snapshot so that I didn't forget the confusion, the struggle, the lack of control that you feel as a child. And even if I dress up and I act like an adult, little kids take one look at me and they sniff me out immediately. I was at a wake, and I didn't even say anything to this little girl. No, actually, no. She gave me and some other people a tour of the apartment, and so she decided she liked me, and she started grabbing my hand and jumping around and shaking around, and I was just like, kid, you better stop. I don't know you. It's just because kids can tell I'm like a giant rabbit child.
Yes, you are, and it's adorable. But the way I want to say something to you, I get it that you've got problems of your own. Why would you care about England? But we found that it's gone global. So in Australia, you've got Fiona Barnett and others, and in America we have David Shurter, and in England we've got the Hampstead thing. And what we found is people by connecting, we broke. How do you say that judge that died, Scalia?
Yes.
Yeah, we broke that into mainstream media. Somebody in Australia did some research, and a victim came forward, and then the dots started joining, and
Actually, it was the story was broken by the phone call that was made about how to handle whether or not to do an autopsy. That's what made everybody go, oh!
Yeah, but it's gone quiet in the mainstream media and the Alex Jones type media and stuff like that.
Let me ask you something. How long have you been? Has it? And it's okay to say yes. What was it? The children that inspired you to become very active?
Absolutely, the children's testimonies. That's the end of the day.
Okay.
I don't care about
what
the
I
girls.
mean is like you prior to that hadn't really engaged. Maybe had been a media consumer, but other than that, had not engaged, any kind of fight like this. Like, had you ever?
I was already a child abuse activist. I have 2 YouTube channels and a active Facebook, several groups, and a website. Okay. So I was already, and I'd spoken to Kevin Annette and blah blah blah.
Who?
So I was already Kevin Annette, the Canadian.
See, you know people I don't know. I know people you don't know. So one day, all these people, maybe you could make a list of the people you know and give me a link, and I can go check and give me like their best. Give me the best of their shit.
Yeah. So I was already active in that field because I was a survivor. But when I saw those videos, for a week I just staggered around in shock, and then I just rolled my sleeves up and I said, right, good job. What can I do? And I started interviewing people. I started connecting. I started, I made a lot of waves. I made a lot of people very pissed off, very pissed.
You're one exotic broad. You know that?
I'm an MK Ultra survivor.
Are you?
Stuff. Yeah.
Wait, it's okay. Again, that's even more important than the church blood. We haven't even talked about the church blood, but you're an MK Ultra survivor.
Yeah, and there's an active...
Okay, so how is it that you're aware of that? How do you know that?
Because I had 2 major surgeries in 2014, and the trauma and the flooding of the anesthetic drugs unraveled a lot of...
Oh, shit! Yeah, Look, you don't do drugs, do you?
No.
No, see, yeah, you...
Once in a while, I like raw hemp seed in juice. I like that.
No, you don't get high off that.
No, I sometimes will smoke a joint, but I'm like a dilettante. It's like once a year,
Okay.
I've got no problem with weed.
I'm going to turn you into a straight up pothead.
Yeah, but drugs, children that have been traumatized from 0 to 7, especially drugs. Okay, sorry. Okay, I did my knowledge thing again.
Yeah,
okay.
So here's the thing. My things lately that I've been saying about this are people who, and you already know you overshare, so you need to pump the brake. And no, you've been doing great on this. You're only sharing things that are pertinent. But it's like you got to pick and choose, because I've already got maybe 6 or 7 things that I haven't said for the sake of the conversation. And they're sitting there, and if I don't say them, it'll drive me nuts later, and I'll kill people. But that, that's maybe 30 years from now. No, I'm just kidding. See, and then I get sidetracked. So I understand this. So what you're saying is, you had surgery in 2014. and I know what the anesthesia does. It basically pixelates you and sends you out into the universe, and then repixelates you back into your body. And that's actually probably a really good thing for you in that case. It was a chance for your brain to go, holy shit. So let's start at the point of anesthesia. Now, what did you have surgery on, if I may ask?
I had 14 inches of bowel removed.
Goodness gracious. Okay, very brave woman. Anyway,
and it was catastrophic surgery, so I had to have it corrected 10 months later.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Shit, I know about this too. So don't. I'm very medically literate. So I'm a child of medical professionals. That's why I asked you that, and that's why you didn't hesitate to say it. But anyway, so you're waking up from anesthesia. How long after you have your first memory do you start having memories of this and sensations about it?
Okay, I already had a lot of memories, but I dismissed them. They were too far out.
Can you detail one or two briefly, and if you will you just say, someone did blank to me, someone did blank to me? That's what I'm looking for here.
Okay, there's about 7 hours of interviews of me on the Miles Johnston Bases series. I have to be careful because what I did was I went and reported. 50 years later, I went to police, and there's a live investigation into my allegations going on in England. So
you mean they're actively pursuing it?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Do you know the people doing it?
Well, I can't name them all, but it was a military thing. My father was in the Air Force. So I've reported, I've been taken serious, I've given a video statement, I've given backup evidence, and it's a live investigation. So even though I know the justice system, 9 times out of 10 in England, it doesn't work. But in the hope that the 1 time out of 10, I shouldn't. I mean, I'm on record saying I've been hunted.
Okay.
You know, and I'm. Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. All
right, you're wiping your eyes. I don't want to upset you.
No, I'm not crying. I'm just twitching. I have DID.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I don't think anybody's gonna bother you.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm just twitching because it's it's whatever. It's fine. It's
okay, I'm sorry. I know this might be a little difficult, but it's.
No, it's not.
I know
Sorry.
others. I know people who've been passed into sex trade. I know people who are TIs. So, I'm a friend of lesbians. I'm a friend of targeted individuals and MK Ultra survivors. Like, I'm also a bit of a deprogrammer, like mostly through humor, but with my distraction techniques and my techniques and the way I play chess, in that is an element of deprogramming. And it's basically like, if you're my friend, like, my friends are special. My friends are people who have fought to be my friend. There's a lot to get through, and like, I don't fault any of them for falling back when they do.
Okay,
but some of them are fucking soldiers. They're just there.
Yeah, I'd love to be your friend. Yeah, so
you are my friend. I wouldn't look. I'm partially psychic, and my main psychic ability is reading people, which I think is most psychic ability. But like, when someone sends me a message, I can immediately get a read on who sent it. Like, just probably just because it has an actual electronic trace through a physical object, it gives me a read. But like, sometimes like I'll lose all my numbers and someone will text me, and just by the words that they use and how I feel when I get the text, I'll know exactly who it is. So when I got a message from you, I knew exactly who you were. I was like, this is an exuberant person who's like watched this video and has been working on this. Like, I already knew. I was just like, all right, well, I hope that I can figure out what's going on a little bit.
Okay.
But so you had these memories come flooding back, and that was and then that happens, and then you see these kids right after. That's fucked up.
Well, yeah, not just that. I already had some memories, but I didn't deal with them, and I just thought they're just ridiculous. It must have been nightmares, blah, blah, blah. And then I started to deprogram, so then I started to join dots. But what really got me mad was I noticed that my children were displaying some symptoms of dissociation and blank memories and
Your kids were?
yeah.
Wow.
So that it's like I take a lot of shit, but if you hurt my kids, I'm going to get mad.
Right.
And then so I'd already got active and thought, right, I better deal with this shit. And then so I was opening up, and I was like, for a month after the anesthetic, I was visionary. I was seeing things again. It was all joining. I was writing the most amazing, I write.
Wow, this opens up a whole discussion about how anesthesia can be used to deprogram MK Ultra victims.
Well, it's a bit like LSD, I suppose. I don't know.
No, I mean, anesthesia is basically it's like a pinch. It just blocks everything. Have you ever done a hit of nitrous? Probably not.
No, I don't.
It's like nitrous on steroids, man. They pump that shit into you, give you a little of this, little of that, get the combination right, and you are gone.
I know. I was doing amazing work for a month, although I looked and sounded like a crazy woman, because the police were told. I was reported for one of my videos, and the police said, "Oh, we're going to monitor her channel, but we're not going to arrest her because people will just think she's a crazy woman." And I was busting wide open criminal gangs and racketeering and all sorts of shit. I was joining dots and putting the goods out there. And the cops just said, well, look, we will monitor her, but nobody's going to believe her. So anyway, so then when I was in the perfect place when I saw the children, other than being triggered to hell for a week, then it was like, look, this shit is real. It was not just me. And then it went global. Like I said, there's someone in Australia, there's someone in America, there's people in England, there's somebody in Brazil. It's like
so weird because this just seemed like the kind of I don't know if you've ever looked on my. You're not friend. We can be friends on my regular if you want. If you would rather keep me high, it's Rupert. You can, but you can also be friends on my main account.
Yeah, I'd like that because then I'd like that.
It'd be a little easier for me to chat too. I can actually when I'm doing it in hi, it's Rupert. I can't hit enter to send. I have to click to send.
Oh, it's okay. We can do that. But I like when we talk. I like to Skype talk because this is my YouTube channel. I upload talks about serious shit.
It's totally fine. Like I've participated in this sort of thing many times. Okay, so I have 4,600 friends on my main because hi, it's Rupert only has like 700 some people, but my main Facebook page has 4,600 friends, 7,000 followers, and when I post stuff that's really sweet, like I just got the most attention ever on a picture. I posted a picture of my parents when they were very young, their anniversary. You'll see it when you go there. I've left it up as the main thing. I haven't added anything since. I didn't even post anything on there yesterday because that one's so awesome. But 192 people have liked that picture. I've never had a picture get that kind of response, but it's also what I wrote above it is very Star Wars related because my parents met on a blind date at Star Wars. And then I was born on, as you can see behind me, I do a show every year in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's called May the 4th Be With You. I have other posts like this is the bill from last year.
Okay, I'd have to pass it on, but I'm sure I can see it when I pause and watch it. May the 4th be with you. That's cute. Yeah, that's cute.
So I was born on May the 4th, and I found out that my birthday is the Star Wars holiday. I worked with one club owner 1 year. That one's on the wall. But he was a dick. He was a real dick to me, jerked me around a lot. And then I found another guy who remembered my show. This dude is just the sweetest, awesomest guy fucking ever. And he's worked with me and grown the show and turned it into something really cool with me. And it almost runs itself now. But I'm the stage manager. I host it. Like I'm the show host.
Cool.
So anyway, then they, that's how I started out life. And then I had a couple of the movies on tape when I was a kid. And, it's always been a part of my life, Star Wars. So that's that. So you can be friends with me over there. I'll request you.
Okay.
But,
cool.
So I do want to try. I don't know how to do this. I don't know if anybody within this fight has the means with which to
Send
have
you
that happen, I would be more than willing to spend the summer in England. I can probably find a way to make money, but I've told you the only things that I've told you what I require is internet connection, which most people already have anyway. And then like pot's my problem, but that's the other thing that I like to have around. But I will go over there, and being an outsider is such an advantage over there. Like the fact that I'm not from there is completely frightening. And I can like, first of all, if you want to get close enough to me to try to take me down, you are going to have to know how to fucking wrestle, motherfucker. You have to send the big dudes after me. But if you send a big dude after me, I'm also fast as fuck. You can't catch me.
I gotta say something, right, for my own conscience. Yes, it's quite a possibility that the mother and the third boyfriend was another cult member, but it's also possible they are not. And I just need to say that. I believe the kids 100%. I think the mother's genuine, but I've got some reservations. It's possible the boyfriend's genuine, but I've got some reservations. But I want you to hold both possibilities. They could be cult, and they could have thrown the kids under the bus to make a getaway. But it's also possible they're not. It's also possible they're not. All right, I'm shutting up now.
I don't. My God, I don't think any of the thing. I don't think anything of it. Like I don't believe anybody's story. I only, you know what I mean? I think that the boyfriend and the mother might. They might be in earnest, like just caught up in this. I believe that maybe possibly the dad is just getting thrown under the bus, and the two people are actually the ones in the cult. I mean, anything is possible.
Okay, there's a lot of evidence.
But I'm only willing to look at the ones that.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard forensic evidence.
All right, we'll go into your MK Ultra stuff later. So you heard about this, and then you got a ticket. And went to, now you have to, because I'm not keen on the geography. Hampstead is a section of London.
Yeah, it's a suburb. It's the wealthiest suburb. It's all new.
Oh, okay, so it's like, okay, I get it. So if you're looking at a map of London, I think the south part is where the poor people are, and the north part is where the rich people are.
It's not as easily. It's not as straightforward as that.
Okay, so Hampstead itself. If I'm looking at the map, it's to the north, south, east, or west of central London.
North.
Okay.
Northwest.
So I've stayed in. I'll just tell you, I've been to England twice. I stayed in the Millennium Hotel next to the U.S. Embassy one time, and then the other time I stayed in W11. I stayed in the basement apartment of this woman who shared a garden with this neighborhood. It used to be John Cleese's garden. And I got to, she let me drive her car and shit. I got to get fucked up and drive a car in England, and I got to drive over the fucking Abbey Road shit. That shit was fucking nuts. That lady hates me now. I behaved like a maniac over there. I was incorrigible.
Oh no, if you were a good house guest and if you could forward the kids... I want the kids free, and I want to know where they are, who they're with, and what's going on. And I want to know that every week. Given what they've reported, I want to know where they are. If the mother's innocent, I want the mother and the boyfriend investigated as well. If they're innocent, give her kids back and go after the people that were the alleged abusers.
Well, if we can tie any of this to America, I could go to the FBI with it.
So
wait, what is that? That is rejection without thinking about it.
No, okay. I'm trying to, you're stretching my mind.
In American politics right now, good is becoming popular. People are starting to fight. People are starting to understand that even if they have a job within the machine, that there are people inside who like to, maybe, you don't know if somebody high up in the FBI already has a docket on somebody and they're just like, okay, well, this is boiling over into the public and now we need to do something about it. You don't know what happens when you do it, but if it's the truth and it's a truth that needs to be investigated, you need to tell everybody possible, including the American Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, good. All right. Yes, so let's just be optimistic, even though this is global. Illuminati elite. This is what they do. This is how they roll. But let's be optimistic, because I maintain 2/3 of people in every institution are good. So let's just try and connect with those kind of people. If you're serious about the summer, shoot me some dates. And you know, I can help. I'm not there. I live in Ireland, and that's one of the reasons I'm one of the few that haven't been arrested. I've been harassed.
Wait a minute, ain't Ireland connected to you? Ain't y'all stuck together? Oh wait, that's an island. Scotland is the one that's
not
there.
far. It's
y'all
not.
The leprechaun.
I'm going to be in England in August. I'm going to be in Ireland. I'm in England in August. For sure. I might be in London in April for this film guy. If the film crew comes over, I might go to Hampstead in April. But no, that's exciting. And my bottom line is I want to know where the kids are. I want a proper investigation, and I want transparency.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is. There are 3 realities that exist simultaneously on Earth, and this is true for everybody. There's 3 realities. There is the way things actually are, there's the way things are supposed to be, and then there's the way that we're told they are. Never do these 3 seem to line up like they're supposed to be. I think the world should be the way that it is the way that it should be, and the way that everyone imagines it to be, and that's the way and so okay, so let's look at our situation based on these 3 things. Okay, the way things actually are, in a nutshell, it's basically a mess with these kids. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
2, the way we're told they are is also something different than the way they actually are, and that's another little mess in and of itself. Now. Then there's the way things actually are. Wait a minute.
Should be. But the third one is the way it should be.
Yeah. You're right. The way things should be is that you can check in on these kids and make sure that they're okay, and follow your motherly instinct and the instinct to protect. The simple fact of the matter is that you did not birth these children, nor are you related by blood, and therefore have no
I hear you.
You have now hang on. You have no actual vested interest in these kids. Now that makes you isolated, but let me tell you something. The fact that you have no connection to these kids buys you emotional social points, and that is what you're spending. And you need to understand that from the bottom line is that you are a person who has been abused, and it upsets you to think that somebody else is in pain, and that is it. And that is your bacon and eggs. You know, when you overshare, this is your new mantra. This is your new mantra. Hi. You know, hi.
Hi, it's Rupert.
It's Angie. I like bacon and eggs. Or if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you can substitute that with hi, I like couscous and quinoa. Okay? But you want to be very simple and just say, hi, my name is Angie and I like bacon and eggs, and let everybody else just do what you do, say what you say, spout out your information. But other than that, hi, I'm Angie, I like bacon and eggs, and just that, and I care about these kids for some reason. I don't even know why. It's blame nature. Just be like, it's nature's fault. I don't want to care about these kids, but it keeps me up at night. And then that triggers everybody to go, yeah, man, I've worried about stuff that isn't my problem too. And then that gives you traction with people. That needs to be, and I think you already know that, but saying that out loud I think is very important. Make sure that's who you are. Now, if you ever get to the point where you amass some kind of power where you could be elected or something like that, then you've got a whole different thing going on. But I don't think that's your aim. Your aim is to make sure that and you know what? I need to refamiliarize myself with everybody's name in this story, because I remember one of the kids' names, and I've done a good job of trying to forget it because I'm not supposed to know it. Excuse me. But as far as being a house guest, I have, as just this, not because I had to, just as just kind of a safety blanket. The last time I did it, I decided, my parents aren't really going to be around forever. I'll go do a year with them. And it worked out fine. Like, I didn't really have too many people to distract myself with, so mostly I just worked on stuff, and I was working on finishing school then, so that kept me busy. But I'm only as messy as the people around me. If you look like you don't give a shit about your shit.
I'm not talking that kind of stuff. There is a core group of people passionately devoted to this case.
Yes.
And there's a lot of them in London. So it would be no problem if a friendly, helpful person was going to come and throw their weight behind it, finding a bed for them and whatever.
Okay, that is my only hang up.
That's detail. If this is going to work, that's detail. That's so easy to sort. That's
my only detail, because I can already see myself on the ground, and like it needs to be like me being there at first needs to be very quiet. Like I don't want anybody to know I'm there. We do it very quiet.
This is going to get uploaded. This is supposed to get uploaded. How is it going to be quiet? Why do we have to be quiet?
Did you start this off? You're recording this?
Yeah, I told you that.
Listen, you can't use this. I never said that you could. You can let it run. You can keep it for yourself.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And you can cut it up and use pieces, but as a whole, I didn't know that, and I've been somewhat on this whole time, but no. I'm giving you... Wait. I'm giving you me. You're not getting radio me. This is not me, and if you had told me, you need to confirm. You got to go. Listen, Rupert, I'm recording you. Do you understand I'm recording you? Yes, let's do this. You need to get that. You got to get the okie doke from me before you do it. I don't mind you. Like I haven't said anything that I'm embarrassed of between you and me.
Right.
And I like you very much, and I'll do this whole thing again just for you to upload if you want. Like we can start over right now.
It's okay, because my channel gets, like, the biggest video is, like, 11,000 hits,
Are you kidding? That's very good.
Yeah, I have one with 11,000, and I have quite a few with 2,000.
Oh, that's very, very good.
And my interviews on the bases have, like, 20,000, but that's not my channel. That's somebody interviewed me. So I'm out there. But it's not the big time, because I don't monetize and I don't promote my channel, and I don't edit and all that shit. But I have exposure, and that's that's like a full circle what you just brought me round back to, because I shot you a message and said, give me 2 times that suit you to Skype, and is it okay to record it? So I guess.
Oh, I didn't see the record it part, sweetheart. I'm
okay.
sorry.
Okay.
I just am very I'm just not acting right now. I'm not acting. I'm being me, and that's.
It's okay, and I like those kind of interviews. I like real. But
no, the interview if we did an interview other than this, it would seem exactly the same, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't be the same.
No, and that's the exact. Maybe we will do this again tomorrow and do a proper interview. But so that'd be great, and I appreciate that. But that's the very question I was going to ask you right at the beginning of this. So you brought it full circle. So
let me finish what I was saying.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's. Fuck, lady. What are you saying, babe?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, what are you saying, babe? Like, did you have something to say? I mean, before I go, if you got something to say, I'll be glad.
No, I did. It's just you interrupted. It's okay.
I'm sorry, baby. You go ahead. You go ahead, sweetheart.
You really, wow, triggered me a little bit. It's okay. You upset me last night.
I'm testing you.
No, I did some work. No, when I was angry with you, and so instead of whinging and being high maintenance and insecure, I went and did some really good work. But here's the thing. I want to ask you this, and I do want to ask you this, right? I've interviewed the mother and the boyfriend a lot. I've got like hours of interview time with them. And they're very precious. They only let me release some of it, right? And I've waited. I promised myself a whole year I would not release anything they didn't authorize because I didn't want to jeopardize the kids. Well, now the kids are indefinitely gone, and I want to release something that they didn't authorize me to release. A little bit like what just happened with you and I, where you said... I want some weed now. I want some pot.
No, this is exciting, man. This is
right. So what I was doing when you Skyped me, I've sat on it for like since last June or May. I've got this killer interview with the boyfriend, and because he didn't authorize it, I haven't released it. But now I think, like, publish and be damned. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. And if he's in the cult, you better bet your ass I'm going to release it without his permission. But if he's not in the cult, it would be like me uploading this without your permission. You'd be pissed off and it would lack integrity.
Well, okay. Are you asking my opinion?
Well, yeah, in a way, because exactly what happened with you happened with him. I said to them, we're going to do a dummy run and I'll record it and I'll send it to you. And with you, I said, are you okay if I record? What I didn't take into account was you skipped that bit. And I didn't wait for you to say, yes, that is okay.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I guess I would like to review it first, but like I'm doing this. Like my mom got really upset with me about that, and I'm just doing that because I'm relaxed and I'm just I'm kind of a fidgety person anyway. But when summer comes, I get rid of the mustache and it won't be a problem anymore. But yeah, I would have to do one where I've got to make sure, like, tie my hands together so I can't.
Review it and you can edit it. I have no pleasure in nailing people. I don't want to nail.
No, you just keep it. I already know I'm not gonna. I don't want to spend the time on it. I like to do stuff that I don't have to. If we're gonna do a long one, do you know what it's like editing 46 minutes of fucking video? It is just oh.
Yeah. So we can do one of two things. I'll send you this for review, and if you say I'll do it.
I don't want it, baby. Everything you told me is in my brain and in my heart.
Okay, and if not, we can just do it again tomorrow.
Let me just go back and finish qualifying myself so I can get this bullet out of the chamber. Does that make sense?
No, I don't know what that means.
My thoughts are like my brain is like a gun, and my bullets are my thoughts. And when I load one in the chamber and I cock the thing, I gotta pull the fucking trigger or I go fucking nuts.
Yeah, me too. Go.
Okay, so yeah, so I have a 4-year bachelor's degree in organizational management. I have 5 years experience in the hospitality industry dealing with brides. I've worked in weddings. I volunteered at University of Virginia Hospital for 1 year. It's a level 1 trauma center. It's one of the greatest hospitals in the country. I can actually see it from where I sit. And the reason I live in Charlottesville is because my dead grandfather was a doctor who went to school here. I've lived in Manhattan, I've lived in Florida, and I just decided I would come here because there are assholes everywhere, but my grandfather was this kind of an asshole. I understand these assholes. So it's an assholery that I'm familiar with. So I live here for an emotional reason. Like, I live here to feel like I'm close to my grandfather, and I do. So I have been a business professional. I have also, you've seen videos I've done, but I've created videos for music people. I've done interviews. I've done everything. So I am quite a helpful person. And then it's also embedded in the American spirit that we're not, and I'm talking from being a real American raised by old school Americans, not these new Justin Bieber little kids. I'm talking about real old school, straight from the country, old school, salt of the earth American people. You don't go into someone else's country being a bad harbinger of being an American. You don't go, like when I lived in New York, I went against the grain. And what I mean by that is, excuse me, pardon me, let me hold the door for you. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. And I didn't let them get to me. And occasionally someone would go, holy shit, that guy's fucking polite. So no, I do have my moments where I'm like, where I'm crabby, but that's usually reserved for people that I Skype with, or people I drink with, or you just hang out with or have coffee with. I have my friends for that reason, but if there's a stated objective of saving somebody, it's almost like working in a fire department. You don't shit where you eat. And I didn't keep a job at a hotels. Like, basically, when I started and when I ended, I was the only one left, other than the general manager. Like, I managed to work my way through there through serious adversity that abuse that you won't even believe, which I actually caught on camera. That, again, I have video that, like, it would go viral. It would go millions of views viral. But I'm scared to release it because the person, you know, what if they get mad? What if it hurts their feelings? What if it damages their career and they come sue me? And, you know, I could just go to England and release it and then be like, you know, good luck finding me because nobody really knows where I am.
But that's a good point, though. That's because we found when the Australians were helping with Hampstead, they said, look, you go hard on getting our stuff disclosed. We'll go hard on getting your stuff disclosed. The likelihood of arrest and, you know, getting bumped off is less because geographically we're out of reach.
So yes, this idea is beautiful to me, and I don't care if it's the kind of thing where I gotta stay in this place, I gotta stay in this place, I get bumped around. That's exciting to me. Like, in fact, that would be a warm up for what I want to do in America. I want to do a couch surfing tour where I go meet all of the people that I've known for like 10 years on the internet, and I love these people, and I want to hug them and eat food with them and you know, watch movies with them. And I just, you know, that's what I want my life to be, is, you know, showing what I see, which is what I do on my show. But in 2000, okay, this is a weird story. This is why I exist on the internet. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This you can keep and use.
I may or may not.
Like, if somebody kills me, this is what, you know, this is basically what you would want to show them.
Okay.
And this is that at that point in the documentary, that's where it fades to black, and it fades to black, and it does a screen save on me. It does like a freeze frame on me. Never mind, I fucked it up. Okay, so I was born in Culpeper. It was really hard, and then it was even harder after adolescence. And then I moved. I was in a band, and the band actually worked out for the band, but I did something else. I ended up going to New York City, and then I ended up deciding, after seeing all those people there with all their money and stuff, that I would go back to school and finish school, since I had dropped out of music school, since music school will make you hate music. So I lived in New York, and then that ran its course, and then I went to Florida and did school. And then I came back up here, and while I was in Florida, one of my best friends, in fact, someone I never we disagreed, but we never, and I think we even had animosity towards each other in the moment, but we never expressed it, not with a look, not with a comment. We were never catty to each other. We would always just, all right, that's that thing, and let's move on. And he was like a best friend, like a confidant. And this stupid motherfucker overdoses and dies underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas night. I knew something was wrong when he didn't call me the next day to tell me what he got for Christmas. And then the following day, I had talked to my dad, and then I hung the phone up. And then, no, that was like the day after Christmas, and the day after I talked to Dad. And then, you know, I probably wouldn't have talked to them until New Year's. And the phone rang, and I turned to my girlfriend at the time, and I pointed at the phone, and I said, somebody's dead. And I stood up, and I pointed at the phone, and I said, somebody's dead. And I picked the phone up, and sure enough, Jonathan's dead, right? That shit fucked me up. My dad, I hung the phone up, I started freaking out, and then the phone rang again, I guess. I didn't hear it. I was hysterical. She talked to my dad, and my dad told her just to make sure I didn't leave the house, which I don't know what they thought that was going to do, but I eventually left the house. And that just kind of set me off, and some of the shit she said about Jonathan after that, not knowing him, made me very angry with her, and that's why I left. So when I came home, I came back to a mess. His younger brother, I don't even want to get into that, but his mother was a total mess. I spent a lot of time with her. I cleaned her house for her. I talked to her. I explained I explained her son's horrible behavior away for her so that she felt like I was I was the most solid bro ever. She found out all this bad shit that he did, and I was like, look, you don't understand, okay? I just told her she didn't understand, and it wasn't like she thought it was, and that was enough. And I did a solid by my dead friend. And then 20 months after he was dead, so then this dentist who owned the restaurant that she and the other two boys worked in, his daughter hung herself in his garage.
Jesus.
She was like 40 and leaving behind two teenage daughters.
Oh.
So I told my friend's mother that that had happened so that she could pay her respects and stuff, but it turns out that I was probably the last person she talked to on the phone. Because the next day she got up, when I say she was a good cook, this food came from heaven, sweetheart. This food was just, you don't even understand. People just would come, the woman's food could cure depression. Like, it was amazing, okay? And so she cooked up her food, and she drove over to Dr. Filazzo's house to pay her respects to their dead daughter who had just hung herself in the garage. She gets out of the car, and she faints and basically dies on their front lawn, is picked up by medical professionals and taken to the hospital. Her son gets over to the hospital and then calls my dad, who tells me I have to go to the hospital, to which I reply, why? He said something happened to, Mary Ellen, and I went to the hospital. I took one look at my friend's face, and I was just like, holy shit. I thought I was going to show up, and she was going to be sitting up in bed drinking water and being like, yeah, I got to be careful. This is, ha, ha, ha. She was gone. She was on life support, and they actually flew her to the hospital I was telling you about, which sits next to me because they have really good care there. And she was pronounced dead there. So that's one thing that happened, and then that fucked me all up, being all close to those events. And then after she died, I spent 3 weeks to a month or so living in that house, which had been overrun with family members and everybody. We had a jamboree for weeks. We just ate and partied and whatever. And I cleaned and did all the dishes, and I did all the yard work and stuff to make sure that the house looked nice, because I knew that all the family members who were grieving, even though she told me I was her best friend, and then she died. Everybody else gets to grieve harder than me because they knew her longer. Even people who she didn't even like get to grieve harder. That's my problem with death, is that even though I might be really, really close to somebody, in the back of everybody's head, it's just like, well, I knew her longer. It's like, you know what, though? I knew the up to the minute shit that was going on, not the other stuff. But anyway, so that happened. That happened, and then I went home for Christmas one year, having not watched TV for years, watched a series of trilogies, and then came up with May the 4th Be With You. And then I got that going, and then right a few days before the show was about to happen, I was out of a project to do. So that's when I started Hi, It's Rupert and talking to the camera. So, like, a lot of fucked up shit has happened to me, and I still am like,
I spent 5 years with, Werner Erhard's organization, EST. It was EST, and then it was the Forum, and now it's called Landmark. And in the end, there was a scandal. His daughter accused him of raping her, and he had to leave the country.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is, he says, and he's studied a lot, he says that people's traumas, for the most part, happen between the age of 4 and 7, and everything else is a trigger to that. So it's not to minimize what happened to you as an adult, but the truth is, there's some trauma. Life is hard, and so there's probably some trauma about being abandoned or sudden death or whatever. When people want to tell me their life story, I always nail them for those first early years, because everything else is built on that, unless they're super, super awake and have done all the work.
Right.
So I'm very sorry. That's heavy. That's very heavy.
I mean, that's one of the things that's happened to me. Like that whole thing is something I wrote on top of that, pretty easily. But some of the other things that have happened to me, probably the main thing that sent me down the train of thought that you hear now was, I wanted to be a doctor like my grandfather. And in school, they don't really give you much in terms, like, all the science that we covered up until I was old enough to be angry about all the science we didn't cover, was already stuff that I had already learned at home, because of the medical people in my family. So my grandfather was a difficult man, and I do have Native American in me. I am kind of a hippie. And so, some of me was exploring other music and growing my hair long and stuff like that. My grandpa didn't like that too much, and then he died. And when he died, I didn't even really realize it, but he was the matriarch of the family. He was holding it all together. And just once he was gone, the shit just went to fucking shit. Like, everybody's attitude is awful.
Some people drawn to this. I'm not saying this is you because you kind of just stumbled on it against not like that.
Oh,
but
hang on. Let me just finish the trifecta.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Grandpa dies, and then from 15 till 18 or 16 till 18, it's a struggle. Like, I'm just angry, I'm mad, and not doing well in school. Like, I'm not failing, but I'm not doing well enough to fucking apply to schools and getting into an undergrad program that would let me get into medical school. Sure as hell wasn't going to go to the University of Virginia, which is kind of where I wanted to go, but I made a decision somewhere in there that was bullshit and not to do it. And then I didn't really realize it, but me having told myself so many times I wanted to be a doctor turned out to be poisonous, and then having looked up to him so much and then having him disappear like that turned out to just fuck me up. And I walked around with that for a long time. Well, I graduated from high school confused, and what I didn't understand was that my body was actually having a reaction to what it basically amounts to a vitamin A overdose, which is the result of having taken the drug Accutane for acne. It did clear up my acne, but it also fucks your liver up. And what they didn't know at the time was it can cause serious mental problems as well as problems with your intestines. I'm pretty sure that if I was having an IBS attack or something was going on down there and they stuffed a camera up my ass, I could sue them for a few $1 million and retire. Because there are lawsuits for that, and there are lawyers who will chase that money down. And you know what? If I wanted to, I would just let a doctor stick a camera up my ass and see what's up in the old pooper there. But whatever. So anyway, that drug inspired the suicide of 500 some people, and also the extreme debilitation emotionally of 1,500 people. I was one of those people. I turned into a mental. It was like mental mush. I couldn't create new memories. I was unable to process old memories. I was haunted by a lot of what was going on around me. And on top of that, I had fallen in love with a girl for the first time and had her just kind of like set me adrift. And now that I'm older and I understand what happens inside me when these feelings happen, these are new feelings. And it was a violent, not physically violent, but an emotionally violent reaction to her telling me no, having the world on my shoulders, and having been absolutely burnt by Big Pharma. And I had to basically start by going, do I really want to be alive anymore? Because I had the plan, the means, and the motive to just drive where I wanted to drive and do what I was going to do, make a statement. I was going to make this awful statement. And like, it came down to the point where I was almost getting ready to get in the car to do it. And then that, I already had problems with suicidal ideation before that. But the whole drug thing and then all that stuff there. It's like September of 1997 is when my life absolutely fell apart. Like I didn't even know who I was anymore. I had to and the funny thing was I suffered and it was through therapy and through medications and through losing everything. And then not only that, having uncooperative parents who told me there was nothing wrong with me, that nothing was wrong. That was the same way that when I told them I couldn't see when I was in 3rd grade, they told me that I was just trying to copy my father, and they told me I was trying to copy the kid next door. Lady, I'm fucking blind as a bat. And this is how I told them that. I was like, this is your parenting skills. This is how you half-assed it. Fuck you. Anyway, having to crawl back through that. So we get to July 4th, 1998. Somebody makes a joking remark that I should try pot. I did try pot, and I had it gave me a panic attack. But a panic attack was more than what was going on inside me at the time. And then coming down from the pot, I realized that, oh my God, I can actually sort of sit outside myself for a second and start to kind of make repairs and look at behavior and think differently, instead of looking at it like, at that point, my own constructive criticism was not taken well. Like, even if I go, man, you got to really try to. It would just infuriate me to even think that. So once I started smoking pot, I kind of just was able to dissociate enough from this, and not to mention that I was a kid of television, and like, it's nobody's fault, but we had cable in the house young, and I didn't realize it, but I saw some things when I was young that I probably shouldn't have seen that young, and it was okay. I mean, when you're a kid, you like that. What I'm saying is, I've been brainwashed by television. I've been hurt by that. And that's why nobody knows that, but that's why I do Hi, It's Rupert. It's my way of coping with the disappointment that I feel trying to chase that. Because let's face it, if you're in the 1%, or if you make more than a few $100,000 a year, there's no reason that your life can't look exactly like the life of someone on television. Any of them. Are you a doctor, or are you a lawyer? Do you have money? And then you can buy the same clothes. You can have the same haircut. You can have the car. You can have the same house. You can have the same appliances. You can get down to the nitty gritty of what your favorite actor likes and set your whole shit up just like them, just so that when girls come into your house, you could just be like, yo, Leonardo DiCaprio has the same fucking kitchen. Suck my dick. Like, that's basically how it goes down. And so anybody who doesn't get to play that game gets the shaft, and they basically get to be servants for the other people who do that. So that's it. That's why Hi, It's Rupert exists.
Okay, I hear you. And if we're really friends, or if we're just Facebook friends, at some point I could nail you, but in a good way, because it goes back even before that. And the point I was trying to make, because that's part of what Werner Erhard did. He helped people break it down till they got to the bottom bricks, and if some of them were out of sync, out of whack, you get to put them back straight again, which is what you describe with pot. And Kathy O'Brien says that pot deprograms people.
It does.
Yeah, so that's true. But so I could press it and say, okay, I get it that there was the drugs in adolescence for acne. I get it that there was the trauma with suicide of loved ones in a little bit older. I get it. There was the death of the granddad at 14, but there's still more. That's why the treasure is in the first 12 years. The Jesuits say, give me the child till they're 7 years old, I'll give you the man. So that's the place to look. And maybe, and I don't say that lightly, and I don't nail anybody without their permission. And I'm not a therapist, but I know some shit, and I can read people. But so I'm glad to be your friend. And I think it would be good to talk tomorrow. And something else I was going to say to you. Well, I just feel like I need to say I love Jesus. I do need to say. I've been suicidal. I haven't lost. My sister died May last year.
Oh God.
But anyway, I'm not going to try and find similar to you. You've lived your life. There's more to go on what makes you who you are now.
Uh-huh.
And we could explore that sometime if you liked, and or not. But
no, that's okay. But see, I trust you.
I'm good at that.
I trust you as a person, and you can ask me anything you want.
I love people. No, I love people. I do love people, but I can read people, and sometimes it's very disconcerting for people. That is. So if you want the bottom line, right? The first thing, the ground rules. You have to promise me. If I piss you off, real friends can get pissed off with each other, and then they get over it, right?
Yeah. Okay. No. Well, what happens? This is what happens if you make me mad.
Okay.
I'll think about it for about a day. Like, I'll wake up into the next day and I'll think about it, and I will rip our relationship apart in my brain and make an evaluation as to whether or not I feel like burning that bridge. And usually I don't, because I'm a softie. And I will ask that you let me vent whatever it is, or I will just start venting, and you just have to be, when you hear me start to raise my voice and let you know what you did, and where whatever logical fallacy I've perceived is, and whatever it is I'm all butthurt about. When you hear that, that's me fighting for the relationship. That's me fighting to get you on the same page as me, to get you to say at least you understand what I'm saying. If not, I'm sorry, or let's work on that. So what I'll do is I blow up for about 90 seconds to 3 or 4 minutes, and then I might stick you with a few things that you're just like, damn, I never thought of that before, or holy shit, why is he saying this? And then I stop, and then it's up to you to go. It's up to you to make an evaluation. And if you handle it in a less than adult or humble fashion, then we're just not friends anymore. And you can feel free to. You can't come. You can yell back, but you have to start off. You have to start off even and then crescendo into yelling. You can't. You have to show some emotional control. I don't mind being yelled at, but I have to see the buildup of the anger. Otherwise, it just seems, there's no art there. There's no craft. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no emotional transition. I like to see those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
If you're my friend,
I can promise you that my heart is not to hurt people, and if I hurt people, I'll clean it up. But
no, me neither. And I honestly don't anticipate going into any kind of a dialogue with people that we're gonna hurt each other's feelings. The only thing I've only told you, the only peeve that I have is, and we'll work.
I'm gonna hurt people's feelings. I do that because I having lived on the edge and wanted to die many times, and then I talked myself out of suicide because I had 3 children. And now my children are raised, and I even considered it as, recently as 3 weeks ago, do you know what, fuck it. I've raised my kids, life sucks, let's just fuck it. And then I thought, no, come on, get up, start again. So, but the thing is, I have very little tolerance for small talk. So, and I'm a blurter. So I'll blurt something out, or I'll say something, and the same way you push my boundaries, I'm like, oh, wow, did he just say that? Oh, fuck, oh, wow. But I kind of evaluate, okay, I'm not going to just run. I'm just going to suss this out. Where's his heart at? So it's just the same thing I ask. Because I would just leave you with some questions, like for homework. Just in the interest of my friends, where honesty is the foundation. I'm not interested in I've got 3,600 something friends on my Facebook. I'm not interested in that. My friends, it's like you can say anything to me, and I can say anything to you. And we can communicate if that hurt or if it was wrong, and we can sulk and come back to the table. But it's like it's based on I can say anything, you can say anything. Let's not talk crap. Let's not say something. So the bottom line of what I wasn't saying is, I could just leave you with a couple of questions, like why were you closer to your granddad than your parents? What happened between 4 and 7? How did you end up alienated before ever the drugs came and the horrible time in adolescence and the girlfriend that hurt you? You were already set up for that. So that's what I'd be interested in you. If I wanted to know who are you, I would say that's, what's the deal? What's the deal?
Okay, that's a long answer, and I'm not going to give it to you right now, I don't think. But
I don't expect you to.
But let me tell you one of my first memories. One of my first memories is so I come online. When you're little, you come online in the memory. Like you're like, okay, I'm standing in Dealey Plaza. I'm 6 years old. Dealey Plaza, where they shot Kennedy. Right?
Oh.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
My dad was there on a business trip, so my parents, naturally being curious, went over there, and I believe they were talking to a man that was there that day. And, I was a rambunctious kid. I needed attention, and often I was very jealous of my parents' attention. So if they were talking to anybody, I had to be up in their shit. And, they're talking and I'm listening to them, and all of a sudden something that they said made me understand what the fuck they were talking about. And I start tugging on my mom's dress, and she's not paying attention. And I'm tugging on her dress, and she's like, what? And I was like, just like all of a sudden my little heart was breaking to ask the question. I said, what do you mean they shot the president? And they were like, I was like, you can do like that. They were like, it happened right over. I think I tried to argue with them a little bit. You can't shoot the president. And they were like, yeah, they shot him right over there. And they showed me where it was. And I remember it horrifying me, and it just making me feel like, it was almost like a year before that. My mom picked me up from school, and there was a politician. I can't remember the story, but he had stuck a gun in his mouth at a press conference and shot himself in front of everybody. And she was shaken up by it. And I remember I asked her, because I knew what death was. The fish had died, and when I was 3, I knew what death was. I knew things died. And I just thought it was a thing. Oh, it died. It's just a thing. It died. It's just, just like a battery dies or a rabbit. So I asked her, I said, you can kill yourself? Like, that was totally like a weird thing to me. And she was like, oh yeah. And she was like, that's why you have to be careful with stuff. You know, that's why we tell you blah, 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 because you can accidentally hang yourself. And I remember her doing her motherly duty and launching into a things in the world can kill you speech. And that was kind of me going, I was just like, oh my God, you know, you can hurt yourself. And then there I am in Dealey Plaza going, Mommy, you can kill the president?
So that's where, that's what I like. That's a circle. That's why later on suicides and stuff freaked you out.
Okay. And then you are a person who you can say anything to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to go, okay, there's one rabbit hole that I will never divulge to the public, but I do let people know about it in private.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain it. There's a 9-minute video that I actually, before I started making longer videos, had commissioned by a man in England to assist in getting a Canadian friend of mine out of a mental ward. He had a very intense psychic and spiritual experience, and nobody really believed him, but, you know, I believed him, or at least I was supportive in his story, but, the adamance with which he told it was crazy. I won't tell the story. One day I'll show you the video. But it started that he started to chase down other people that he thought because this voice told him that he was John, called him John by his first name. They call him JD. They don't call him John, but his name is John. And so eventually he surmised, and let's just go within this paradigm. I don't want to have to keep saying speculation, this and that. Okay, let's just say that it's all true. We're going to go that it's all true, and I'm just going to say it for the sake of being expedient. He is John from Revelation in the Bible. He is what we would say is a reincarnated saint. We found about in the teens the number of people who were also, and the one that was the most stark was this kid named Dominic. We looked up Saint Dominic, and there was a stained glass window. The person depicted in the stained glass window looked identical to Dominic. And also in the stained glass window, for some reason, was this man's dog. The real-life Dominic had the same exact dog. It was just some very Edgar Cayce kind of shit going on there. And when you study that, you start to see some people popping back up. He claims to be Edgar Cayce, and I on my level of looking at him, think that it could be true. And I like thinking that just for fun. So who am I? Well, we started looking around. He started sniffing around and doing connecting the dots and listening to me talk. And it was the group's understanding or assertion. And I didn't come to this conclusion at all. It was presented to me, and I said, you know what? If there is anybody that I am, it's him. But I'm Bobby Kennedy. Jack Kennedy's murder and assassination was what got me into into politics, I guess. It's just something about that has always deeply upset me. And even though I've gone over it and over it again, I've read Jackie's story and cried. I've just cried about it. And even sometimes when I'm watching the Zapruder film, I think of people looking at it as just an exhibit. Like it's just an exhibit that happened. And it when you look at it, it has almost no emotion attached to it because people have picked it apart so much. That fact alone, when I watch it, sometimes I almost feel like I'm going to do it right now. I'll just bust out crying watching it because nobody realizes that that dude died right there in that place. That was a dude. That was just a dude. He wasn't just the president. That was a dude. Yeah, he had a problem with sex. But, that's what he did instead of cocaine. Everybody else does coke or little kids or something. But, that was his thing. And I would say that women would be a much better outlet than messing with kids or drugs. Because having sex, that's relaxing. It's exercise. It's good for you. However you want to frame it. But what I'm saying is these people figured all this stuff out. We started to chase shit down this rabbit hole. And then I don't know if it's because an outsider got added or people just got scared because it started to get really weird. But a lot of the main characters that were in that group have dropped and disappeared from Facebook. And like, that is the behavior of someone who it got a little bit too real for, because it was very real, the parallels. We found Noah. I met Noah, and this dude could very well have been Noah. His attitude, the way he looked, the way he carried himself was very... I was like, if anybody was crazy enough or brawny enough to build a fucking ark and stick animals in it, it's this guy. But I don't even believe that story anyway.
Okay. Well, I don't believe in reincarnation, but I've been listening to some really interesting stuff. What's likely is that in that moment of trauma where you overheard your parents talking about, and you didn't mean to say you're Bobby, it's JFK you're talking about.
No, I'm Bob. No, you don't understand. I'm Rob. No, I am in that world, I am the reincarnated brother of John Listen,
the brother.
I have read a stack of books taller than me on the Kennedys, okay? Like, I know which one I'm talking about. I know their parents' names, I know their whole lineage and all that.
It threw me, because, okay, so you identify with Bobby, and the truth is...
I love Jack. And I think I love Jack so much because I used to be his brother. Like that. Look, why would a 12-year-old get so upset about something and then like learn about it? You go to school, everybody ostracizes you for even bringing it up.
Okay, I'll tell you why. That in that moment of trauma, you got attached by a demonic spirit, a spirit of death, a spirit of grief, attached itself to you.
A demonic spirit attached itself to me in Dealey Plaza?
Yeah, in that moment of trauma where you weren't ready to hear that, you didn't know that information, the way it came into you was shocking, and so your spirit was wide open and got a trauma, and so it was like a portal. So you took on a spirit of grief and shock, and to move on from that. Rather, it's a nice thought, and a lot of people think they're the reincarnated so and so. But what's happened is it's a spiritual thing it's a spiritual thing that got access in that moment of trauma. So you could be healed of that and let it go, and you'd have some grief because it was like.
I would say that place in the world is one of the places that has the most amount of grief associated with it. I mean, his death shocked the entire world. It ruined lives. And the after effects of it, the after effects of him passing were the Vietnam War and all that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, there's loads of interesting stuff we could go down on that. So I've really enjoyed talking to you, and this was what my point when we got sidetracked. The point I wanted to make was some people that get involved with this kind of subject matter, which is not easy, they need to be prepared that they sometimes, I'm not putting this on you, but they sometimes discover shit in their own background. It's like, oh my, it's like I thought I was just doing a favor because I've got a high profile and it just came across my desk. And then when they really go deep, it's like, be prepared that not everybody, but a lot of people that work in this field and are drawn to it, even against their better nature, it's because there's something resonating deep, something resonating with them. So that's all I'm saying. That was just a disclaimer.
Oh, no, that's great. No, I think that you and I are going to be friends. We're going to talk all the time.
Okay, good.
And we're going to do so. Like, I think through you, with your help, I will go to England and I won't get arrested. I will do fantastic investigative research and figure out what's going on. As long as I have access to everything I need to have access to, I'm good.
I'll start working on that. I'll start working on the logistics of that.
I'll start doing more push-ups.
No, I really will start working on the logistics of that. And
Rupert, pedophile hunter.
And that's exciting, and thank you. And I'll talk to you again soon. I think that's everything for now.
Okay, bye, Angie.
Hi, darling, my new friend. Hi, bye.